Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and you've guessed it, it's Margarete Miller time, it's collage time again. Apologies, hopefully this video isn't too dark, but it's a really dark and dingy and pouring down with rain day here in Wales, and I've got a feeling this is what winter filming is going to look like. As I said, I do have filming lights, but I'm never really happy with all of the shadows and contrast and everything, so I'm going to try and keep doing it by natural light, but you never know, in the future we might have to change that. Right, I think we're up to 44 or 45, or on 45. I'll get rid of the bookmark. So let's have a little look. There you go, there's the prompts. I'll go through them anyway, but there's the prompts. So let's move that over to there, because I believe that's where you can see it. I always cross my fingers with that one, because we never really know. Okay, before I go through what I've got, we've got a scissors, we've got a scraper or a smoother, we've got glue stick, I've got a glue book page, and I've got my tear ruler. So all of the regular equipment, and I've got some wet wipes to the side as well, because my fingers tend to get a bit sticky. So let's look at what I pulled out. Let's see, the first prompt was a piece of jewellery. Now I assumed it wasn't a real piece of jewellery, I just assumed it was a picture of a piece of jewellery. You would think, wouldn't you? So, I went through my box of clippings and I found this pile. So that's all jewellery. That must have been off something else I must have used in a previous one. That must have been off something I used in a previous one. And I've got this, which is all little bits of jewellery. So I thought, right, that's okay. I can use that to cover the majority of this page. I mean, just that alone is pretty much going to cover that page anyway. So I've got the jewellery well and truly covered. Let's put that back where it came from. Text using a different alphabet. I have this a little bit. It was on packaging from something that arrived from China at some point. So that's Chinese. I'm happy with that. Or it's Mandarin, or it's, I don't know what it is. It's symbols to me. That's all I can say. But there you go. So that's there. So I'm going to use that for that. What was the next one? A symbol of heraldry. Right, bear with me, I've got this all laid out, but I've dumped stuff on top of it. Okay, the only thing I could find were these little coats of arms. And I found these in a Harry Potter pamphlet, so I went, okay, so I'm guessing that's Slytherin. That's Hufflepuff, I believe. That's probably Gryffindor, and believe it or not, and that's Ravencroft. So anyway, I've got those, and I thought that was the best I could come up with. I just couldn't find anything that was heraldry, so I thought, okay, coat of arms is heraldry, even though it's a fantasy coat of arms, it's still heraldry. Plaid. So what I did was I took a bit of plaid tissue paper. I've got a whole pack of this tissue paper. It's just gift wrap tissue paper, and I stuck it down onto some paper because I thought that way I can just tear it and use it as I will, and you're not going to sit there seeing me struggle with a glue stick. So all I've done is literally just stuck it down with a glue stick onto the page and let it dry. So therefore I've got plaid to work with. Something that slides. That was a little bit tricky, but I went, you know what? Drawers slide. They slide in and out. So I pulled out a selection of things that have got drawers in them. And also I pulled out chairs, because chairs slide in and out as well. So I'm not sure. I may be reaching a little bit for that, but I've got a feeling this is probably the piece that's going to be used because it sits quite nicely there. What else was there? There's one more, wasn't there? Lined paper. Lined paper. Okay, I just went through the scrap box and pulled out some scrapped lined paper. So that's what I'm going to be. Oh, there's another piece of that there. That's what I'm going to be using, probably just to cover the pages to start with, to be honest. Did I pull out any extras? I did. Because of the plaid and because of the heraldry, I thought, let's think slightly Scottish. I'm not going to say it's totally Scottish, but so I pulled this out, and that's a thistle there. So I thought I might fussy tear that or just rip it out as a piece, and that can go on there. Where's the other things gone? I found a couple of stags, or stag and a doe, or whatever they're called, and I did have, and I've lost it again now. There it is. I found a Highland cow that's been knocking around in my box for a while as well. So I thought, right, we might err towards Scotland. No insults to Scotland. And then the last piece I pulled in is this lady, who's obviously so far not Scottish, but it was the only one of size for what I'm thinking of doing. And you've seen me use these things before from magazines. So she's going to be a distant Scottish relative. So there you go. So that's just the story behind that lot. So let's get gluing onto this. As I said, I'm just going to literally stick these strips onto the page, and then I'm going to know that it's all covered up and ready to go, and we can make a start. So, as you heard me say, it's an absolutely flipping awful day here in Wales. Well, here in Cardiff. I can't speak for the whole of Wales, obviously, but in Cardiff, it's far from pretty, should we say. We've had some not great weather for the last few nights. We've had really high winds. We've had lots and lots of heavy rain. Granted, I think we probably needed it. I don't actually remember the last time we had a really good downpour. So as someone who loves his garden, I'm okay about having rain occasionally, because the plants need it, and it saves me watering the garden. Selfishly, but it saves me watering the garden. Right, you didn't have any on you, but you're going to get stuck down. Anyway, there you go. Let's see, what other bits? As you can see, I'm really not caring about the background here. I'm literally just covering up the pages, and I'm quite tempted to leave that page as it is, actually, because I don't see a problem with it, but we'll decide on that one when I actually start sticking stuff all down. I might cover it, actually, double doubting myself there, just for continuity of what everything looks like. So let's already get rid of that blue page. So yes, it's not the best of days here, but I'm quite happy with it. It could be a far worse day. We could have snow, we could have hail, we could have hurricanes, which I know some people in the States have. We could have tornadoes, we could have water spouts. You know, I'm okay. Oh, look, I lined that up perfectly. I couldn't have done that if I'd have tried. So you know, I'm okay. If we're going to have a little bit of bad weather occasionally, then, you know, it balances out, because occasionally we have a nice little bit of good weather. So, needless to say, for my regular listeners, I don't have washing on the line, because that would just be absolutely stupid. Unless I actually just sprinkled my laundry with detergent, just hung out and let nature wash it. Not sure that would work, really, but there you go. So what else is going on? Actually, I wanted it that way. So I'm trying to work out a way so that I don't cover up all of the prompts. I don't mind covering up just the I did it again, almost lined it up. So, right, so I'll deal with the little pieces around there, or I won't deal with the little pieces around there later. Right, I am going to cover this page. You can go on there at one big piece. That can go in the box. So, trying to think what I've got to tell you, to be honest. It's just, I've just finished doing all of my accounts for the last tax year. In about an hour I leave to go and see the accountant to sign off my taxes. Absolutely hate doing my taxes. And it's not the actual doing of the taxes, it's, I'm not great with numbers, and I get, it's like I'm not good with filling out forms either. I get a bit, well, not a bit, I get very stressed and anxious when I have to fill out a document or an important form or my accounts, because I do. It's in my nature just to be a bit freaked out about the whole process. It's just, I don't find it easy. I mean, I don't think I'm dyslexic, but I think there might be a little bit of a smattering of it somewhere in my gene pool, because I can look at figures or numbers on a page and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I look at them and I'm like, what are you seeing? How have you made that into a mathematical equation? I was horrible at math in school. Even with a calculator, I struggled. It's like, if I was to talk to you and you were to dictate your phone number to me, I would definitely say, can I repeat that back to you? because I do have a habit of missing numbers or swapping numbers around, which means possibly there is a little bit of dyslexia with numbers in my gene pool. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to get all antsy about it, and there's nothing I can do about it other than just be me, which is what I'm trying to be. So, and to be honest about things that I do struggle with, I think men especially tend to not want to show any signs of weakness. It's a case of, oh, we must be perfect. We can't be weak. We are men. We have to do it. I'm like, no, actually, you don't. And there are things I struggle with. I mean, as anyone who follows me on a regular basis, I've had some mental health issues over the last, well, since the pandemic decided to change everybody's world. So I've had a few of those, which I've never had before, or not knowingly known I had them before, let's put it that way. I mean, unless I had them on a minor scale. So that's not an oh, poor me situation. It's just a case of owning up to something isn't right. I mean, I've tried to, with my social media, be as open as I possibly can with things that go on with me. And I think in the future there is going to be a Coffee with Ceri where it's discussing basically that it's okay to be not okay. I mean, I've seen that saying somewhere before. That's not me coming up with something. I'm sure I've read that somewhere as a catchphrase. It's okay to not be okay, and it's right. It is okay to not be okay. It is. I think it takes more strength to reach out and say I need help than it does to cover it up and be strong, because actually you're not being strong, you're being stupid. There's help out there for all of us. Right, anyway, enough of that. That's bringing us all down a little bit, and I don't mean to do that. And it's too early in the morning to be thinking about that stuff. Oh, I must do this again. I actually took all of the spine off here, and I took all of the glued stuff, and it's actually tearing off a lot easier, so I get nice clean edges for the stuff in my box. So there you go. Right, so I've got that on there. Coffee dyeing wasn't the purpose of that. It just happened to be that the pages had coffee splatters on them, so I'm not worried about that. Right, let's start the build. I want to put plaid in here. Obviously, I have to put plaid in here. It's part of the prompts. There's a bit of a thin edge down there. Actually, I'll trim that off so that I don't have that white showing, because it will eat away at me. So, right, now I'm looking at really big pieces on this page, so I'm thinking that it's going to be more glimpses of the plaid and not seeing the whole of the plaid. So I think if I put that down there, I'm happy with that. Actually, gluing this to tissue paper, gluing the tissue paper to paper before I started the collage, I wish I'd done that before. I really do, because it's making it so much easier to work with the tissue paper, and it wasn't that difficult to glue it to the regular piece of paper because it wasn't actually in a book. And I was finding that when I was doing it directly into this planner, I was struggling. I was really struggling. Right, let's see. I don't mind tearing that bit off there, and I don't mind that it's got lined paper on it, because the whole layout is lined paper anyway. Let's see if I can just tear that into a sort of kind of a straight line. So there you go. Oh, I know what it meant. I went out to well, I had to go and buy some shoes yesterday. I went to Doc Martens in town. Well, I live in a big city. I live in the city of Cardiff. So it's the capital or Principality of Wales. I don't know what we call ourselves, but it's the capital of Wales anyway. So we have a very big, like we've got like at least 2 big American style shopping malls. And I tend to not go there too often because I'm a little phobic of the amount of people around me now, which I'm sure I'll get over that eventually. But I needed new shoes for work, so I went in to buy a pair of Doc Martens, not the boots, the shoes, because I know they're a little expensive, and yes, it was a considered purchase, but I've worked in them before, and I can tell you it is so much more comfortable when you're wearing a pair of Doc Martens to work in. So anyway, I went in and bought those. And what was the point of this conversation? I completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh, isn't that scary? I was talking and I've just forgotten the whole flipping lot. Is that a sign of age, people? Have I just lost it completely? I don't know. Well, there you go. I was telling you something and it's gone. It'll come back to me in a few minutes. But yeah, it was just really weird because I was in town and it literally felt like nothing had ever changed. If anything, I felt like the freak wearing a mask, whereas everyone else is walking around without them. I mean, I think there are certain shops, if you go into them, you have to wear a mask. But yeah, it's like the virus has never happened. I'm like, oh no. I had my flu shot yesterday. So that was another one. I always get a flu shot every year. So I think that harkens back to when Mum was alive, because Mum was disabled. And part of her disability was the fact that her immune system was really, really low. So as I travelled continuously doing shows and stuff like that, I was always on planes or in different countries, and I was very conscious about trying not to bring anything home with me, other than the odd gift, obviously. So I always have had the flu shot. So I went and had my flu shot yesterday, and look, I almost married that up. I wonder if I can slide that down. Wow, look at me being good. I lined all those lines up. So I went and had my flu shot yesterday. What else? I'm hearing that here in Wales, people are now getting their third vaccine shot, which I believe is the booster shot to the previous ones. So I'm sure there'll be a phone call or there'll be a letter arriving at some point telling me I need to have that done. Right, let's focus on this a second. So I've got the lined paper and I've got the plaid on here. Piece of jewellery, right, I think this lady is going here. And the reason I wanted her on there was when I actually looked at these pieces, they looked like a crown to me. And I think if I put that piece under that piece, do you see where I'm going with this? And then I might have to trim the edges slightly. But that's kind of what I thought I might do with that. So, in fact, I might just do that. I wonder how low I can get this. If I take it off at her chin. Sorry, lady, I'm about to give you a chin job. Let's just... Right, if I get her on the page and centralise her at the best of my abilities, if I can do this without ripping the magazine paper, which you've seen I'm quite capable of doing in previous spreads. So, and as you know, because I'm sure I said it in the last video, I am filming ahead with some of these. Well, not some of these. I am now filming ahead with these, just so I can better manage my workload. So, right. This woman slightly reminds me of Jennifer Lopez. Only slightly. It's probably the Hispanic look to her. Let's just trim that little bit of her earring off. Snip. Hopefully that didn't hurt, lady. So, yeah, she reminds me just ever so slightly of Jennifer Lopez. And I quite like Jennifer Lopez's music. And actually, I quite like Hispanic music. I like that whole rhythm. You can't help but be happy with Hispanic music. It makes you laugh. Well, it makes you dance more than laugh. I'm wondering if I should actually attach this to this before I attach that to that. Purely because then I'm dealing with one piece and the spacing and not several pieces and the spacing. So let's see if I can put this on here so it's nicely lined up. Right, there you go. So I've got both bits on there now. So now I can work out where I want it. I want it on an angle, I know that. Right, I think that little corner piece there is going to have to be snipped off. which I'm sure is no great loss. Right, let's get a clean page, because we're certainly not dealing with sticking stuff to other things. And let's put this down. I'm seeing on my social media links lots of press coverage that Broadway has opened back up again, and the West End here for the theatre lovers is opening up again. So, I mean, I'm happy about that, because I've got, as you know, I used to be an entertainer, so I've still got lots and lots of friends in the entertainment world, and they've been really, really knocked. I mean, it's not just a case of, oh, they weren't doing shows, so they weren't earning money. It's a case of when you're a dancer or a singer, your instrument, which is your body or your voice, needs to be kept going, and the stamina needs to be kept going. And I moved that, I think that was where it was. The stamina needs to be kept going. The vocal cords need to be exercised regularly. And I know you can say, well, you can do exercises, and you can do exercises. Although, to be honest, it's not the same as actually doing it. Right, decisions need to be made. I think that's wrong, and it doesn't need to go in there. I quite like this, but I'm not sure that it fits on that page in the way I want it to fit. Unless I've got an idea. I think the reason I don't like it is because it's one huge piece. I think if I broke it down into smaller pieces, or at least two small-ish pieces, do you see where I'm going? But then that might actually, if I put that one up there, I quite like that, because that's as if it's flying towards the jewellery. Put this one down here, because I'm probably going to put in that chest of drawers, and I think this can come down a bit in height. That might work, and I think if I take the bottom off that one, and silver, I'm just trying not to fill in too much of the spaces. Right, let's save these little scraps, because I might want a bit of a green accent over here in a little bit. Yes, pity I didn't think I've already chopped the tail off that snake. If I'd have cut that differently, it would have been better. Right, I want to put in this so that I don't forget it. I wonder whether I can trim that right down. I don't think anyone's ever going to read it, because if it's me, I certainly can't read it. Right, and I don't need to have a barcode on it. But I will save the barcode, because Margarete Miller tends to like having barcodes in this challenge. So let's stick that in and stick it right down by there. And then at least I know I've met the prompt without it being a predominant piece on this page. Right, and it is cardstock, so hopefully it'll be okay. Right, there you go, that's that bit done. Right, I want to fold this over so it doesn't stick. I want to pop this piece down. So I was thinking the other day too, I can't quite remember when Thanksgiving is supposed to be. I need to have a bit of a Google search on that one, because I want to make sure I know the date, because if I've got the date, then what I might try and do is make one of these collages around Thanksgiving. Or is it Thanksgiving? I think it's Thanksgiving in America and Harvest Festival here in Britain. I'm sure that's the way that all works. It's just, that's just a bit sticky. We're not taking a risk with this one. So, yeah, because I'd like to, that would be an interesting spread all about fruits and flowers and wheat and harvest and stuff. So just trying to think ahead as to what I would actually do on the different spreads that are coming up. Yeah, let's go all the way to the top on that, and I think over a little bit so we can still see the tartan there. Or the plaid, or whatever it's called. I call it tartan. I think it's the same thing as plaid. I could easily have done that wrong, and I've messed up this whole thing now. Right, other elements I wanted to add Right, I wanted to put the thistle in, and I think I'm just going to absolutely not fussy tear it. I'm just going to tear it as a strip. So I don't mind it being a strip. I'll take that number off the bottom, I'll be quite happy. See, I'm okay with that as a strip. I might take just a tad off the top. Right, this lot can go back in the box, or the parking lot, or the basket, whatever we're calling it nowadays. Right, I've got that there. I want to play around with a few elements first because I'm not really sure where I want to put stuff. Looking at the amount on this page already, I think actually that is the only piece that's going to fit, because all of this is just way too big. So that can in the parking lot. So if that goes on, I wanted to put the Scottish cow on, or the Highland cow, but I'm now not sure where the Highland cow is going to fit. I've still got the heraldry pieces to go in. I only need one of them, but they do need to go on here. See, he could go on there, and then that just covers up everything I've just achieved. This is obviously a place that needs a something. Right, the cow may not go on there. Right, let's just get the heraldic pieces on. There's enough of them that I could actually put some so they're sticking out behind things, and some so they're over the top of things. So I'm going to put one up there in the corner. There you go, that's that one done. I might pop another one down here. This might be the element that ties the two pages together, to be honest, is these heraldry pieces. Yeah, I don't mind that it's covering up CW, because we know what this is anyway, as long as I've got the numbers so I can tell. Let's clean a bit of paper. Let's put another one on the other page. I don't mind her being thrown into the background slightly. Right, we might leave that. I might put that one up there actually. I mean, a lot of you are probably going, oh, you covered her face up. Well, you know, it's collage. Collage is all about layers and patterns and textures visually, and textures not visually sometimes. Right, okay, so we've got that in that place. Now, I could arguably cut these drawers down so that the shelves are not on the top, which is probably what I need to do. So if I just snip that right across there, and snip that there. That bit looks a bit funky, but that's fine. I can deal with that. Right, I'm going to put that down. Oh, actually, now I've done that, I wonder whether Mr. Cow could go in there. Struggling. I freely admit I'm struggling. This doesn't feel right for this spread, but I'm just playing around with this at the moment. I think it needs some vintage photo. It just looks too white to me. Well, it's not even white to start with, it's cream. But I think it just needs what I would probably call weathering or aging. Should we call it aging? So just a bit of knocking the brightness out of it. Right, and I think I'm going to stick it down there. And as I said, I don't mind covering up some of the heraldic base pieces because you'll still see elements of them sticking out underneath. Right, that's kind of working for me now. Now this just feels like it has to go down there. The question is, does Mr. Cow actually need to be on here? Is that just a frivolous thing I want to put on? And if I don't put it on, what goes on? Now, I think this is going to need to go on because it's bothering me that I can't visualize where it's going. So I think we'll just stick this down as where I thought I would put it, which is down by here. And then I can just work around it. If I put that right to the edge, then I can still see a little bit of the jewellery behind, and the jewellery actually complements that colour. Right. Really wanted to use the cow. Okay, question is, what's more in keeping with the Scottish theme? A jewelled or a cow? So if I put that on, it looks like I'm covering something up. Maybe let's put that in the parking lot. Maybe it's not going to be here. Right, I did have a stag. Is it a stag or a hart? I can't remember what these are called. There's a Scottish word for them. I think it's a hart. That feels a little bit peculiar stuck on there. Actually, it doesn't look peculiar stuck up there though. I'm still having problems with this area though. I wonder if I do that and then put her over the top of that. It's just, why are they floating in the middle of the area is the question I've got. Ooh, I'm struggling with this one a bit, guys. I don't really know what to do. Where's that plaid gone? Maybe if I put a bit of... No, that would not look right. Let's have a little bit of a look through here, because obviously have I got everything on here? Let's just double check. So a piece of jewellery, definitely jewellery. Text in a different language, got it. Symbol of heraldry, got it. Plaid, got it. Something that slides, draws, line paper. So everything is on there. So basically now I'm just filling gaps or dressing things up. Oh, I've got a bit of pattern paper. Let's leave that out. That might be a something. I wish I could have fitted the cow on here because it's a Scottish cow and it's a Scottish spread. So I don't really want any more of that paper. That bird wouldn't work. Numbers don't make any reason to be there. Let's leave that out. That might be something. Would have had another piece of that. I haven't got book page on here, and I don't really want book page on here, so let's just steer away from that. I don't want to add pink. That makes no sense. I've got lined paper in that colour. Butterflies don't belong here. Numbers don't belong. That's shiny and too dramatic. I haven't got music paper on there, but you never know. Right, I think amongst all of that, I might just have something. There's a bit of green there as well, right. I might have something that works. So let's give this a bit of a once over, right. Pattern paper will dull all of that down, which kind of would be okay, but I'm not sure. I've got green. There's no reason for that green to be there. That's just me farting around with it. Excuse my French, fussing around with it. That's lovely, but it's wrong. Music paper and lined paper. If I put that across there, it's weird because I've just put stuff down and now I'm covering it back up again. But as I said, it's all about layers and pieces and... Come on, Griffiths, get it together. So I've gone quiet because I'm just trying to get my brain around what I'm trying to do, and I'm not really sure what I'm trying to do, to be honest. So if that went there, what would be on it? That looks like it's too much. Right, let's just get rid of some of this white, because I think the white is really bothering me because I can't see past the white. I wonder. Right, that's going to go down there. I don't know why the white lines are bothering me. It's just, that's all I seem to be able to see on this spread. Right, so let's put this in, and I don't mind it overlapping some stuff because it'll kind of tie it all together. So whatever goes in there will now be the feature of this page. Now, this looks like it's very, very, very busy, because it is very, very, very busy. That's wrong. This feels wrong as well. Right, I'm back to Mr. Cow. And the problem with Mr. Cow is a bit too big. So let's see if I can edit Mr. Cow down, shall we? So if I can just trim off little bits of him. Maybe I can get him down to a size where he's still recognisable for what he is, yet he's not so large that I can't fit him on the page. Okay, if I can just take a shade more off the top of that, maybe. If I could fit him in there, I'd be quite happy. Right, I think that would work. Possibly. Right, let's get him down before I procrastinate any more on that subject. So I really did want to use the cow in this because it's a Highland cow, and if I'm thinking Scotland, I don't have a Loch Ness monster, so I might as well stick a cow on here. Right, let's slide you into place. Right, so I don't want that. I don't need any more of this. I've got this little bit here, which I'm feeling I want to put down here for some reason, just to try and tie it in so it's more than just one piece of that on the page. Actually, I might put it in down there. Feels like it needs a word or something on that now. That might work there. And you can see with all the different ones on the different layers, we're kind of okay with all of this now. I think what I might do is I might use music page to tie it all together. So instead of putting a word there, if I put a strip of music across it, that may help me. So we're talking thinnish strips of music. So I need to tear a few of these off. I think if I have three, because goodness knows I always seem to go in threes. I think it might just help tie this all in. I don't normally have this much of a struggle. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Maybe it's because it's early, and maybe because my brain isn't firing up. I have had coffee. Maybe that's the problem. I haven't had enough coffee. So, right. I think if I put that across there, that will tie that together. If I pull this down here, I know I'm covering up an emerald ring, but you know what? I don't care. And then I think I need a piece up there, and that might just tie it all into one. Right, how am I doing? Right, I think that works. This feels like it needs something down here. And maybe it's just a little square of music I need. I don't want to put another strip. I just want a little something. And if this didn't look like Jennifer Lopez before, it does now, because we've got the music influence in it. Let's pick that up, put that back in the parking lot. And there goes my tear ruler on the floor somewhere. Right, let's lift that out of there and just pop that in that corner. where did the table go? There you go. I'm wondering whether I need to put some numbers or something on here. I'm a little... It needs something, guys. It needs something. I was also going to think about pulling the green across, wasn't I? Because there doesn't seem to be any green over this side. Maybe just a little tiny touch in the top corner. That might just be enough. Oh, and I've probably just stuck that right down to the book page. Just so I balance the colour up from the other page. Right, that sort of makes me a bit happier. I do feel there's things missing from this page. Wondering whether I want to stamp something on here. Let me have a quick look in the stamp drawer. Well, not stamp drawer, just a drawer. I'm wondering whether I've got anything like a thistle in amongst these. That looks like a pink. I thought at one point I did have a thistle somewhere, but I don't want to keep you and then be hunting through loads and loads and loads of things. I wonder whether that might work. Let me just have a little look further. There's that little one. That doesn't know. Sorry guys, I'm holding you up here and I'm dithering. I'm absolutely dithering. I do think it needs something. I'm thinking that this might just be an element. Let me just... Where's the ink pad go? Right. I think we're literally just going to lay this on in spaces and see what it looks like. As with everything, we don't know what we're doing because we're creating art, so that might be what I'm looking for. And I think if I just put a little piece of it here and there, that should cover her eye up because that wouldn't be a good move. I think that's kind of it. I think I need to quit while I'm ahead, to be honest. It sort of gave me what I was looking for, but I'm not 100% certain that it gave me exactly what I was looking for. Well, I think we're going to say stop, because I'm getting to the point where I'm just adding stuff. And when you keep on adding stuff, sometimes you create something extremely special, but it takes you a while to get all the way through the process to creating a completely new image. So, interesting. It's a bit of a, yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure whether I would class it as a good one. Let's see if I can knock back some of these edges, just because I'm noticing that you can see this lace on the edge, and that's very, very vintagey. So maybe if I just take a little bit of that vintageness into the rest of this, maybe that will help. Yeah, this was a weird one for me. Did I enjoy it? Maybe not as much as I would normally. I don't know. Someone somewhere out there will love it. Some others will absolutely hate it. And I'm going to be on the fence about this one and not really make a decision because I don't really know whether I like it or not. How am I doing for time? I'm wondering, I'm looking at this, I've got, where is it? I've got some little jewels somewhere in this. I'm wondering whether I need to put something like that down there. Maybe I can just come art glitter glue on these. I'm thinking because the prompt was jewellery, whether I should have more jewellery on this page. So if I can hold these for a second. Now I know they already have sticky on the back, but experience tells me the sticky comes off. Did I just hit you with my glasses? I'm sorry. I might do a couple of those on this page. 3 is normal, you know me. Yeah, struggled with this one. You never know, when I look back through this book, I may absolutely love this one, but currently I can't say it's working for me. Right, let's pop you up in that corner. Right, I think those little bits of gems might have just tied in the theme a little bit more. It could be me desperately grasping for things to make it work, but I think that's okay. I think we're okay. Okay, so until next time, I think we're sort of at the point where we say goodbye, really. This is all my social media. This is where you find me. Love you to like me, share me, subscribe to me. Any positive comments are more than welcome. And this is me. I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. And I'm signing off. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.